You could set the hands forward, you could set them backwards.
It is 7 o'clock, September 12th, 2019, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to begin with the pledge and flag. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one adjustment to the agenda, and that is that tonight we will not be having a presentation by Christina Bork, Executive Director, Rebuilding Together Dutchess County. She couldn't make it tonight, so possibly in the future. With that change in the agenda, can I have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Made by Ralph Fidelli, seconded by
Second.
John Midwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any public comments on agenda items only? If not, I see we have Mike Peter here, and we might just as well let the police report.
There's 3 for this side here. There's 3 for that side. All right, so in front of you here is the August 2019 incidents. There was a total of 40 incidents, 14 were in the town. 14 town incidents had 2 arrests in the town, 26 village incidents, and 5 village arrests. This is pretty close to last year, this same reporting period, we actually had 37. So.
Very good.
The domestic dispute on their stolen car, if they put in tell you that the car's been stolen, and then afterwards decline to press, is there?
It's actually, she reported it as that the vehicle was stolen, and her boyfriend took it, is what it came down to. So when she found out who had the car and everything, it was declined to press charges. So.
Okay, any questions?
What are your hours currently for patrol?
Monday through Friday is from Monday through Thursday is from 6 to midnight. Friday is 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And Saturday there's noon to 6:30, and then 6:30 to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And Sunday is 4 to 12.
Okay, got it. Does that change as we go into the
fall season? We'll only work usually till 1 o'clock in the morning instead of 2 o'clock.
When the snow's falling? Yeah.
Yeah. But, yep, but those are the hours for that.
Thanks.
It's just hit and run accident.
Someone had a parked vehicle and left the scene of the accident. So without reporting it, it was observed by a passerby.
Any other questions? If not, thank you.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Bob?
I have an amended 284 agreement for the expenditure of highway monies. I have added 2A and 2B. 2A is for the Mill Road culvert replacement. This is just the portion that comes out of the permanent improvement part of the highway budget. And then 2B is for Bilkey Road, for the entire road, improved drainage, hot mix paved 2 inches compacted, and install new gravel shoulders. And that's a total of $203,879.91. And 2A was $184,280.56.
Any questions? And I have a motion to approve this agreement for expenditure,
So moved.
made by John Merwin, seconded by Chris Kennan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the details, you just sign both of these.
This is
So, while we got you, you're talking about Mill Road culvert. Do we have any idea when they're gonna put the railings up on the culvert?
As of today, they're talking about it being next Wednesday.
Okay, because once they put the railings up, then it's,
Then they can open the road.
it's paved, it looks great.
They actually did yesterday and today they put in the topsoil and seed, so that's all done.
Okay,
It's all mulched.
it's
So
all
just
washed
wait-
away into the stream.
No, no. No,
Yeah.
they touched it up after the rain, actually.
Okay, good.
But,
Have you heard why it's taking so long with the rail?
just the subcontractors just way behind. They're relying,
Because that's the only thing that's holding up.
that's it.
Yeah.
Opening that road up.
It's just the rail. Everything else is done.
And I thought it was supposed to be this Wednesday.
They were supposed to be done by the end of this week,
Yes.
originally. Ray Czukowski told me today that it's going to be by Wednesday, at the latest Wednesday next week. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we get you, Warren? I know.
That'd be great. I had a long day. So I don't have much to discuss with you except for the comprehensive plan.
Yes.
I did get the comprehensive plan, and the next steps that we have to, the town board and the village board have to take is to complete the process. You've had a public hearing, joint public hearing?
Yes.
So the next step would be designating a lead agency for the seeker review. And it's my understanding that Nan is going to take care of doing the long form environmental assessment form, the part 1, and we'll take the board through the part 2 and the part 3, and we'll draft hopefully the negative declaration. What I recommend is that there be joint lead agencies. I put a call into Ian McDonald, the attorney for the village, to discuss how they want to handle that. But joint lead agencies are permitted under decisional law that's interpreted seeker. So if the town board and the village board act as joint lead agencies, they can adopt the same long form environmental assessment form. They can each adopt the negative declaration, and will expedite matters. And we'll have a stipulation. I can talk to Nan about that and to Ian and arrange that. We can have a stipulation that there'll be co-lead agencies for the seeker review of the comprehensive plan. Because we can't send the comprehensive plan down to county planning for their review until we finish part 1 of the long form environmental assessment form. We don't have to complete the whole seeker review, but they're going to want to see the part 1. So the sooner we can get that done, sooner we can get it down to county planning, because I imagine they may want to weigh in, they may have some comments. We get the county planning comments, we do finish the environmental review, hopefully each board will issue a negative declaration. And then each board can then adopt the comprehensive plan by itself. And it's really pretty simple. It's not adopted by a local law, it's adopted by a resolution. The law in 272A, the town law, seems to indicate that you're required to hold another public hearing prior to the adoption of the comprehensive plan. There's some dispute as to whether that's required, but I'm going to recommend certainly that the town board, before it passes the resolution, have another public hearing and then hopefully adopt it on the same night or shortly thereafter. So just to play it safe. Town law is not, the village is not governed by town law. They have their own laws, but we're kind of following the town law, section 270A in the comprehensive plan review process. So I think the next step really is just to make sure that Nan is on board.
She's on board and she's gonna have materials to us by the end of the month.
Okay, so that we need first, as soon as we can get that, and she needs to talk with me about coordinating this with the village and figuring out the fastest way that we can do this. You know, I've dealt with Nan before, so we can talk about it. And when you're finished with this and we adopt the comprehensive plan, we then have to take a look at the comprehensive plan to see to what extent we may have to tweak our zoning or change our zoning to make sure it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. And I think you know, and I've advised the board several times in the past, that our zoning law is badly in need of a redoing. So this would be the appropriate time to clean up all the other problems with the zoning law and to ensure that whatever we have to pass to make the zoning law consistent with the comprehensive plan, because that's required by law, we do that. So that would be the next step after that. But let's first get the comprehensive plan passed.
Warren, we will, and this, we're waiting till, of course, the comprehensive plan is done, but we had totally planned on going into zoning and a complete do-over of the.
I would recommend that, yeah.
That is the plan.
Okay.
How about during the interim, if there are things in there that need to be brought up to code to meet, you know, state
That's not a
regulations,
problem.
whatever.
That's not a problem. We do that all the time.
Okay,
I'm doing several in Hyde Park. We're changing, you know, the code. We just do it by a local law. So if there are real deficiencies that can't wait, because the redoing of the entire zoning law will take some time.
yes.
So, and I've identified a few deficiencies in the planning board procedures, which I think have to be addressed and sooner than later. And I'm sure there are other problems that the planning board and the zoning board may have with our existing zoning law that we need to address. I did take an initial look at the sign law draft that was sent to me by Yon, and I spoke to him today about that. I have to really chew into that, and I told him it's going to take me a little time to review that, and he understands that, and he understands that he and I have to talk about several issues that he has with the zoning law. So it'll probably take a couple of months for Yon and I to work that out, so it's before it's ready to put into local law format and then start the public review process for the sign law.
We hadn't scheduled that. I got an email from Yon before, but it wasn't scheduled to be put on the agenda.
Yeah,
until November.
I was mistaken. I saw an email from him, and it seemed to me like he expected it to be on the agenda tonight. I said, there's no way we're going to do that. But he's fine. So he and I will work together on that. And I think, do you have anything else on that? I think that's all I have.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
No? Okay.
Nope.
And
Thank you, Warren.
I will talk to you. Just so you know, I'm going to be away. Did I tell you I'm going to Europe?
Wow.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Yeah, my wife and I celebrating an anniversary. So I just want you to know I'm going to be away a certain period of time, just in case. So, not long, just 2 weeks. So I'm leaving on the 25th, and I'll be back in my office on October 10th. I'm coming back on the 9th. So that's probably our town board meeting. I can attend the town board meeting on the 10th if you want. Is that when you have-
That is the town board
So I'll be at the town board meeting, but if you have anything that needs my attention for that town board meeting, it might be a good idea to get it to me before I leave. So
Soon.
if you can anticipate anything that you'll need, otherwise, I'm sure we can scurry and get things together when I get back. And I will be available by email.
As you know, these things don't usually come up that far in advance.
Unfortunately, it's always at the last minute. So thanks for letting me go early tonight.
Not at all.
So, and I'll talk to you.
Enjoy.
Have a good time in Europe.
Thank you, really excited.
Where in Europe?
We're going to, flying into Barcelona. Never been to Barcelona, been to Spain a few times. And stayed there a few days. Then there's an interesting town north of Barcelona that's They call it the Venice of Spain. I doubt whether it's the Venice of Spain. And we're going to be there for a day, and then going into Montpellier in France, taking a train, then renting a car, and then driving through France.
Wow.
Winding up, and we just made our reservations in Paris tonight for a couple of nights.
Well, Ralph can tell you how to avoid tickets.
Where, in Italy? You have to drive under 130 miles an hour.
He's still a wanted man.
Are you wanting it in Italy? You know, Italy is the most, we've driven all over the world, and Italy is the most amazing place because you go on the Autostrada.
Autostrada is wonderful.
And they have these things that are over the highway, and there's stops, you know, for eating, and you go in there, and there's like buffets and chefs, and they're serving wine and alcohol, you know, then people get back on the road. I don't know how they do that. It's a wonderful country. I'll see you all later.
All right.
Enjoy.
Next is a resolution to accept the Water District Number
We want
1.
to finish our
Reports.
reports?
Sorry about that.
that.
That's good, it'll take us up to.
Okay. So I started something new by emailing you guys the department reports, so we don't have to print them out anymore. So from now on, I'll be doing that. My deputy colleague took on a full-time job, so I'm asking the board to appoint Marcella Wheatley. She started on Monday, so I would ask for that approval retroactive to Monday's date. She comes with lots of experience. She was previously working at Weavertuck part-time, and she wants to just work part-time.
Need a motion?
Can I have a motion to appoint
Marcella Wheatley.
Wheatley?
So moved.
And she'll be deputy town clerk and deputy registrar of Iowa Statistics.
Second it.
Okay, made by John Rowan, seconded by Ralph Fidelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also, in your packet tonight, I've included a draft copy of a records management policy. I will be forwarding that to Warren and Dennis Riley at New York State Archives. I just want you guys to just take a look at it, and then we can discuss it a little more in depth next month. And then, since August meeting, the website has gone live, and we've gotten positive feedback on that. I've also been busy selling hunting and fishing licenses, and the office is open the first and last Saturday of the month through October for any services that are needed. Mostly hunting and fishing licenses. And I had 2 people last Saturday come in.
We'll do it by stipulation.
Question on your report, when it says in the first group of receipts for things, miscellaneous cash, what is that for?
That was, the miscellaneous cash was for the bid documents. When we did the phase 1 bid documents, if they came to the office to pick up the set of documents, we charged $50 for that. And if they didn't return the bid documents in a timely manner, we get to keep that money. So I
Okay.
just deposited that under miscellaneous cash.
Okay, it just was, it had nothing, whether.
Yeah, I know, there's no other
Yeah,
choice on my
right.
report category
Okay.
to put it in,
Yeah.
but that's what that's for. There's usually not.
I just thought people were just dropping off cash.
No, that's what it was
Keep a
for.
hat outside the door,
Yeah,
accept all donations.
whatever it takes.
Okay, good.
So we have to do the resolution.
I don't know if we have time to get through the resolution to accept Water District Number 1 benefit assessment roll and set the schedule for a public hearing.
It's not an actual resolution, it's just, I need a motion.
Yeah. Can I have a motion to accept the Water District Number 1 benefit assessment?
So moved.
Made by John Merwin, seconded by Chris Kennan. All in favor?
Aye.
And what day do we want to set the public hearing
And the
for?
public hearing will be on October 10th at 7:20.
This is just a procedural thing that we do every year. We have to
It's-
notify everybody that's in the town water district that the benefit assessment role is available.
It is 7:20, and I would like to open the public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant for ideas. And I'm not going to ask for approval of one tonight because we may also seek ideas from the village, and their meeting will not be for a while yet, and we'll see what ideas they have. We may go in as a joint on something that they're looking at. So if there are any ideas currently, either board or,
You have to have a motion to
Can you
open the
open the
public
public
hearing.
hearing?
can I have a motion to open the public hearing? Made by John Midwood, seconded by
Second.
Ralph Fidelli. The public hearing is now open.
Yeah.
I have a vote. Aye. Any suggestions, ideas, anything that anybody believes might be a good idea for the CDBG? Then I am going to leave this meeting open until our next meeting to see what the village comes up with. And we'll see at that time if there's something that we can go in jointly on.
I need a motion for you just to adjourn that to the next meeting.
Can I?
I was just gonna say, it might be worth just telling people what we have recently gotten those grants for. They're relatively small.
Last year we went in for a joint award for the making of both town and village hall ADA accessible. What it involves here is that the front door, because of the width restrictions on it, and the two doorways here are not large enough for wheelchair accessibility, or at standard for what the acceptable wheelchair accessibility is. I know that the village has a little different criteria than what we do. They are going to be moving, I believe, the police office from upstairs down into where they used to serve luncheons, the senior. Yes. So theirs is a little different, but it will be making that wheelchair accessible as well, that area over there. Since we have been waiting kind of for the village to finalize their decision on exactly what they were, how they were going to do it and what they needed to do. We now have that. We'll be going out very shortly, RFP jointly, because both of these projects are not extremely large. We hope that by combining the two and going out, we will get more bids. We'll get bids anyway. If they're too small, you're not going to get bids on it at all. So, that's basically what's going on this year. If anyone has any ideas for anything similar or other ideas, we certainly would entertain them.
In previous years, we've gotten sidewalk repairs done,
Yes.
and the composting toilet on the rail trail was done
yes.
with community block grant
That's
funds.
correct. Yep.
As well as, I think, the repair to the library was
The
a number
repair to the
of years.
library.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 years.
Didn't
Yeah.
the village get a grant for redoing the south side of Main Street, the
The
sidewalk?
sidewalks,
And when are they gonna get done?
well, you have to ask the village.
Because, you know, in front of Irving Farm, it's in bad shape. At least temporary repairs.
One of the problems is, although they did receive monies for that, they don't have enough to do exactly all that they want to do in there. Otherwise you'll have to ask them to get a clearer picture of when they might do that. Any other comments, questions, suggestions?
No. Do you still want to adjourn this to, we still
I
set the other
would
public hearing for
leave it
7:20?
Until next meeting,
Okay.
we will leave the public hearing open.
Have a motion for that?
Can I have a motion to
Close it.
No, adjourn it to the next.
adjourn it?
So moved.
Okay.
Made by John Midwood, seconded by Ralph Fidelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's not 7:30 yet. Possibly we have time to approve the soccer contract for 2019 fall season. We do this annually. It is a total of $750. And I don't believe, since it is an annual thing, I don't think we need to go through and read the contract through. Can I have a motion to accept the contract and allow $750 for that?
So moved.
Made by John Midwood, seconded by Chris Kennan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, we're going a little faster than
Just approve the minutes quick.
we can. Yes, I guess we have 2 sets of minutes, I think.
From September 5th.
Okay, all we have then is for the joint town board, village board meeting on September 4th. And this, anybody have any comments, any corrections, anything they found within those minutes?
Look it over, look it in.
I didn't see anything in there. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Made by Chris Kennan, seconded by
Second.
Ralph Fidelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's see. Have we got time maybe to do the budget adjustments? We have a budget adjustment for a fund. We have expenditures of, an expenditure increase of $203,827, less a revenue increase of $203,827. For B fund, we have an expense increase of $642, less a revenue increase of $642. DD fund, we have an expense increase of $91,198, less a revenue increase of $91,198. Can I have a motion to accept the budget adjustment number 5 for 2019?
So moved.
Made by Ralph Fidelli, seconded by
I'll second.
John Merwin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We probably haven't got time to do the abstracts.
This is pretty up there.
Close enough. It is 7:30. I'd like to open the public hearing on local law number 2, a law to override the tax levy limit for fiscal year 2020. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Made by John Merwin, seconded by Chris Kennan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any comments, anything concerning the tax override, the law to override the tax levy limit for fiscal year 2000?
You might want to just explain again why, what the purpose of this law is and it doesn't,
Well,
what it does
Okay.
do and what it doesn't do.
as everyone knows, we are under the restriction of a 2% tax cap. And a 2% tax cap or CPI, whichever is the less. Almost all municipalities, we are in the process of doing budget now. We can't say exactly what's going to happen with that. So all municipalities, in order to cover themselves, we pass this levy in case we should exceed, whether it is the 2% or whether it is the CPI.
Because if you don't pass this law,
If you don't, then you're forced to stay under it. The problem being that there are certain expenses that sometimes come up. In the past, we have always had the ambulance, which because of the annual increases that were placed on that every year, kind of forced us to exceed the tax cap. While I can't say this year for sure, there is a possibility that we may have to exceed it again because of the borrowing that we're doing as far as for the highway garage. So to cover ourselves, we passed this to exceed the tax cap annually. Any other comments? If not, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Made by John Midwood, seconded by
Second.
Ralph Fidelli. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Do you want me to
Do you want to read the
We're a little
resolution, please?
faster on the side.
know. We just jump right in.
Resolution adopting a local law to override the tax levy limit for fiscal year 2020 pursuant to General Municipal Law 3C as local law 2 of the year 2019. Whereas the town board has determined that it may be necessary for the town of Northeast to exceed the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of Northeast pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 3C for fiscal year 2019. And whereas the town board by resolution dated August 8, 2019, accepted a proposed local law to override the tax levy limits for fiscal year 2020 pursuant to General Municipal Law 3C for commencement of local law adoption process. Whereas the town board scheduled and duly noticed a public hearing on said local law to be held on September 12, 2019 at the town of Northeast Town Hall. Whereas the town board opened the public hearing and heard comments on said local law and closed it. Whereas the town board has determined that this action is a type 2 action under seeker and does not require environmental review. And whereas the town board has determined that it is in the best interest of the town of Northeast to adopt this local law. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby adopts local law number 2 of 2019 entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit for fiscal year 2020 pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 3C, and it is further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to file said local law in the office of Department of State as required by law. And then I need a motion to adopt.
Can I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Made by John Merwin, seconded by Chris Kennan.
And I need a roll call. George,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Ralph,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
and John.
Aye.
Okay. Next is the monthly bills abstracts. I have a special abstract dated August 27th, 2019, totaling $7,661.10, broken down as follows. A Fund, $3,428.27. DD Fund, $4,143.92. Payroll TNA, $88,091. Can I have a motion to accept the special abstract?
So moved.
Made by Ralph Fidelli, seconded by Chris Kennan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We have an abstract dated September 12th, 2019, totaling $341,716.64. Broken down as follows. A Fund, $192,017.58. B Fund, $408.90. DD Fund, $123,814.97. Capital Projects H1, $24,890.19. TNA 2 escrow, $585. Can I have a motion to accept the abstract? Made by Chris Kennan, seconded by
Second.
Ralph Fidelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Voucher Committee for October. John Midwood and Chris Kennan. Next, the only thing we have left is general comment period. And I believe we may have,
I've got something.
yes,
Great. My name is Elliot Ramos. I am part of the CAC for the village and the town. And I am here requesting money for a bear-proof bin to collect compost from the village hall, the town hall, the garage, both garages, for part of our certification for the Climate Smart Community grants, which we are applying for and in the process of getting. And one of the requirements on our list is to compost for our village and town municipal buildings. So I've talked to Bob Trotta, and he has offered to let us use a piece of the parking lot near the supermarket where we could put a collection trash can, basically the size of, I'm suggesting a 30-gallon trash can. There are 64 and 96 gallons, but I think just to get started, we would have a smaller collection container there for everyone to use, but mostly to get things rolling and to get our off our checklist for the Climate Smart Community. We would have something similar to this, which I've gotten for free from Macro. I'm trying to get more. We used to sell them there. This is the last one for some reason, but they would sit in the kitchen here and at the village hall and at the town garages. I think those are our municipal buildings. And then either I or anyone, but I would certainly be happy to pick these up once a week, bring them over to the parking lot there, put them in a trash can, bear-proof, and then Cole said he would bring them to McEnroe where they could be composted. The reason I think we should have a bear-proof bin is obvious. And also, I think if a bear gets into our compost once, they definitely come back again and again. These are quite expensive. The cheapest one I could find was $85. It's pretty small. It has a twist top and it seems kind of difficult to use. You twist the whole top off and it's, seems like a bear could carry it away or anyone could. The most expensive one was $716, which is more the type of thing you have in a park. It's in an enclosed metal thing with locks on it. I don't think we need that. There are all the different sizes. I've handwritten this, I don't have a printer, but I'm suggesting or hoping that we could go for the Barracuda Classic for $259. It has 2 locks on top. That the other ones have sort of fancy locks where you put your fingers in and do 5 different things and then drop your compost and then it locks automatically as you walk away. I think we're all able to open a couple of eye hooks, and it's also a bear-proof container. So I could pass this around if anyone wants to see the prices, but I went to the village meeting on Monday and they are willing to pay half. So it would be almost $150 each, I think, with tax. And also it's a local company. They're out of Lakeville, Connecticut. So that's pretty cool. And I think this would be a good solution for our checklist that we need to do to become a climate smart community. And we're gonna have these free lovely, which I have one in my house. It doesn't smell at all. And you just put your lunch refuse in here. And like I said, I'd be willing to come once a week and pick it up, bring it to the compost.
I have no problem with doing this. I think it's fine. My only concern might be as far as maintenance goes. Who's going to, be taking it down to McEnroe's? Who's, going to be doing?
Cole said he would, and he's been on board for this. I would also volunteer to, it has wheels, the one I'm suggesting. I could wheel it right over to my house and hose it out.
And I know that if you're going to compost, you can't have, you want vegetables, fruits, that type of thing, rather than
Bones and, yeah.
who's going to, watch to make sure what's going into this.
Well, I think everyone who's gonna do this is trying to do the right thing. I worked at McEnroe and people would bring their own compost from their own house. People who lived in apartments didn't have a yard to do it. And it seemed that nobody was trying to sneak in things that we didn't allow. And McEnroe also is a huge commercial composter, and things do get in there and don't seem to cause a problem. It's not like your backyard where some bones or some fat or even citrus might cause a problem. And Eric is on board. Originally he was gonna pick this up for us, but now they're not able to, so Cole said he would do it. I don't know how fast it would fill up. We'd have to wait and see if people are into it. Certainly if it's just the town and village halls, I don't think it would fill up very quickly.
And that's all it's going to be, is just town and village hall?
Well,
It's not
that's-
going to be for the general public?
It will be for the general public, and I think that's wonderful for people who live in apartments or don't want to compost in their yard. But in order to get this grant that we're applying for, that Chris has worked very hard on, this is one of the things on the checklist as part
I
of
understand.
yeah.
I'm not opposed to the idea. I just want to make sure that this is going to be an ongoing thing, that, we don't run into any issue with, at some point in the future.
Well,
Is
certainly
there-
I'd make a sign or something to tell people what they can put in there, and
Is there any way for, if the town people are going to be involved in contributing to this compost pile, of people getting compost back for it?
well, that's something I talked to Eric about, and Eric McEnroe, he didn't sound too enthusiastic about us. I also had thought originally we could do our own small-scale composting. I know that Cole was very interested in, but I don't think that's gone anywhere, especially now that we're getting the new garage. I don't think it's the time to set up a composting, even small scale. So, it'd be great if we could have our own Millerton compost, but someone has to monitor it and do all the work. McEnroe is huge. This would be nothing for them to add this in, and I will still continue to work on them picking it up, because I think they're also in Millerton, and it's a neighborly thing to do. But at this point, they're not prepared to bring a truck and pick up our compost, even though it would be one small thing. Who knows, it could get big over the years, but
Could this be written up in the newspaper? Just tell them exactly what could be accepted in the compost and where it is.
absolutely.
Just pick it up.
Absolutely, yeah. Our CAC, we're working on having a little thing in the newspaper and, things that we can do to be greener.
Would it not be better to start off small and
Well,
maybe
that's,
kind of-
George, that's what this is.
Yeah,
This
that's-
is starting
that-
just with town and village
If you put it
halls.
in the newspapers and start, inviting everyone to come
Might
in,
be too much.
it's going to be beyond the capacity
Yeah.
of what we currently.
Well, I think that's why this makes sense to do it just
Yeah.
with, and those are actually two separate credits that you get under the Climate Smart. One is to do it with municipal facilities, and one is for the general public. And the general public one is much more ambitious, in any of the things that we do. There's sort of two different levels, we're measuring greenhouse gas emissions of village and town vehicles and buildings and so on. Down the road, we measure greenhouse gas emissions, or we try to,
In houses.
and involve the public. But
Yeah.
that's a whole big job down the road. So I do think that this, that this does make sense. I think it would make sense to have a little sign you could put above it saying what goes in, what
Yep.
doesn't go in.
Yep.
Because not everybody knows, actually. You're way ahead of the curve.
Well, I didn't
There are
really know,
people
and,
that- There are
yeah,
people really that have never done it.
yeah,
So it's good to give them that.
sure.
The other thing I think is a question I would just raise is I know when the idea of putting the receptacle over in the shopping plaza was when the supermarket was actually open.
Right.
And there isn't one now. So it does, I guess it would just be sitting there by itself somewhere in the plaza.
Yeah. Well, Bob told me exactly where to put it. And it isn't a very busy place, but our group decided that we
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
thought it was centralized and,
Well, for
they're-
now, it doesn't make any difference because this is just for the municipal
Yes.
building, bring it over there.
You might want to just reaffirm that that's still,
Yeah.
open to allow you to put that there.
From Bob,
Yeah, just to.
I talked to him after the supermarket was closed, so, yes. I mean, he was very happy that we were doing this and, so, I don't know how,
If that's the case, then what was the amount again,
$259 for a 30-gallon.
To be split between the village and the town.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
looking at half of that.
Right.
Do you have any objections to that? I didn't think so. Can I have a motion to expend half of $259?
Is that all in? Is that with?
That's not with the tax, but I figure it's in Litchfield. I could pick it up and not have it shipped and it'd be $259 plus tax, so, I don't know,
And maybe
270.
for a municipality, since it's a municipality that's purchasing it, you probably wouldn't have to pay tax.
Right.
There we go, great, that's even better,
So it'd be 130. basically.
$130.
Can I have a motion to expend $130 to purchase this
So moved.
container? Made by John Midwood, seconded by Ralph Fidelli. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you all very
There
much.
you go.
And I don't know, may I put this in your kitchen or is it too early? Should I bring it back when I
Well-
get the trash can?
Put it in there.
Is it
but
over
then-
here?
Yeah, right in
Okay.
there to the right.
Are there any other comments, any other discussion? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn? Made by John Merlin, seconded by Chris Kidd. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.